Thanks for dropping in. Today I have a WII story. Not we as in W-E-E, but we as in W-I-I. You see, some years ago, I had a WII system set up, and then of course, you know, we weren't really using it, it wasn't really set up. I even ended up getting a second set up at a second-hand store, only to find that, of course, because the parental controls and other things had been set, that you had to call Nintendo and talk to somebody, which of course I never did. So the thing just sat. But anyway, recently I decided I would hook it up. And it ended up, I think it was definitely the one that came from the second-hand store. So it worked okay when I was first connecting it to a big TV. And then when I put it in video 1, I had, oh yeah, comes up, yep, okay, good. So I did some fine-tuning, moved the power supply, moved the, you know, got the little sensor bar and everything all figured in, turned it on, and of course, what happened? Nothing. The TV still came up and said video 1, but nothing was there. So I was like, what? This was fine. So I wiggled the cables, checked the cables, switched, because I have 2 of the video cables, switched the video cable from one thing to another. And let me tell you where this TV is. It's a big old SONY, I think it's an XBR. It's a big beast of a thing. Big beast, heavy monster. It is not easy to get at the back of it. So switching the video cable around was no easy feat. But anyway, I did. And of course, what do I get? Nothing. So I'm like, what? But with the thing coming up and the screen being sort of lit and it's saying video 1, I'm thinking, it's working. But it's just not working. So I tried all kinds of things, and eventually I grabbed the 1701 and maneuvered so I could get it hooked up and plugged in and stuff to see, am I really getting a video signal? And I plugged into the front of the 1701 and got it turned on, and this too was not easy in the location that things were. And indeed there was the WII video saying, press A. Not EH, but the Canadian way, but A on the remote. I was like, what is going on here? So I continued to be some baffled as I perhaps even smacked the TV a little bit, tweaked things, switched things, did something. Finally, well, there's more than one input. Before I give up on everything here and just throw in the towel and try and then maneuver this massive, heavy beast of a CRT television out the front door, I got down once again on my knees where I barely could see, took my phone, put on the, well, not my phone, it's not a phone, it's a flashlight from Apple. Put that in position where I could kind of see, and then had Andrew kind of watch, and I told him what to press on the top of the TV, because I couldn't get up and down and do this over and over. And somehow or another, on video 3, up came the WII. But it wouldn't work on 1 or 2. I never did try it in 4, and I was like, what? Why? I don't know. Anyway, I was baffled. But anyway, we've got it up. We've had it working. We've been playing the sports, which includes bowling, tennis, golf, baseball, and boxing. We haven't done the boxing yet. Anyway, in the midst of all this, of course, I wanted to change something. I wanted to update it. I wanted to connect it to the internet. And it kept on asking me for a pin. So I don't have a pin. And I said, you forgot it? Okay, I forgot it. Oh, well, we can't actually do anything about that, but you've still got to call Nintendo and give them the secret number. And then they'll give you some master key. I was like, oh. Anyway, I finally found a number, called Nintendo, and this guy, who probably hears more about switches and things and stuff and all kinds of stuff, was kind of like, oh, a WII, and then he asked if it was a WII something, like I guess it was an advanced WII. No, just a WII. And I'm not sure, but I think maybe the WII came out 15 or 16 years ago now. A baby compared to the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20 and the PET and all those, but still. Anyway, finally, I guess he looked at enough stuff to be, he said, do you have like an 8-digit code there? I said, yeah. So I told him that, and then he gave me a code back, and everything was able to be reset. Now, I'm not going to put a code or a pin on it, in case the next person, whoever gets this someday, wants to do something. And then I had to set about trying to get it to connect to the internet. And it, you know, it goes out and it looks for the available things. And I did, and I put in the appropriate password, and it still kept on coming up with this error. So eventually I told it to format the memory in the thing. And of course I just turned it, oh, you know what, no. I was having it search for the internet, and it just sat there for maybe 30 minutes doing nothing. And it wouldn't turn off, it wouldn't do anything, so I pulled the plug. And I let it sit. And after doing this a time or two, and diddling around endlessly back and forth with it, giving me the same error message, it finally connected to the internet. And I thought, great, I can take advantage of the news, the weather, and all the other magical things that they talk about on here. But mostly I wanted to update the unit, which I did do. So it has been updated. And it all seems to be fine. But then when I went to go and do the weather and the news and other stuff, it popped up with some error message and instructed me to go to some website that no longer exists. But we have been doing the tennis, the golf. Not so much of the golf yet, but we're getting there. The bowling, certainly. I used to bowl. And as did Andrew. And the something. Tennis, golf, bowling, baseball. Baseball. Yeah, baseball is tough. You got some mean pitches you can throw there. Anyway, so we have been using it. Now here's a funny thing, because I have the other Wii from before. And I found it, and that's of course how I have extra parts and extra cables and extra power supply and extra the sensor bar and all that. Anyway, so I figure, great, I'll try and fire that one up. Well, the remotes that go with the one that I got at the second-hand store won't activate it. And won't talk to it. And I don't know why. I have no clue. So I will go back into my box of tricks and parts and things and stuff and try and figure out what is going on and why. I'm pretty sure it works. But then again, I don't know. But I know in the midst of me just swapping batteries in and out of things, I know I got it to turn on. And I can turn it on just by pressing the button, but for some reason, these remotes, I thought they were all the same, won't talk to it. Ugh. Anyway, it's been many hours of fun, but many hours of frustration. Excuse me. Many hours of frustration. But the Nintendo man on the phone was helpful. And so we're up and running. And I suspect before the night is out, we will play probably some more tennis, maybe some golf, maybe a little bowling, maybe do some training on the various things so that we can improve our vast skills, perhaps. Anyway, so if you have an old Wii, don't give up on it. They still will help you if you phone them. You will need, well, I mean, 1701 or 1702 would be great. You need RCA composite inputs, which this big SONY XBR massive, I don't know, I forget how big this thing is. The screen is not, like, it's not like a flat screen. It's deep, it's heavy. Like, at one point I had it sitting on a shelf sideways on its face, and I figured that in that position I could, after fighting it up there onto the floor, that I could kind of set it up and twist it into position. I had no prayer of doing that on my own. No prayer. I had to seek help to get it where I could get it up on its bottom, or the base, which is the size of the whole thing, and then with great trouble, because the shelf it's on, it fits very perfectly in there. So when something fits perfectly when it's straight on, when it's at an angle, not so well. But I got it. Anyway, so I'm glad I saved this big old TV, because it does very well. And it hooks up well, although why those inputs don't work, I don't know. I haven't tried them with something else yet. I did find, of all things, a DVD player that I might plug in. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I think the next thing I will do, besides playing and enjoying the magic and the moments, is I will get the other one out and see if I can get it cranked up as well, and maybe have it into another input. And if somewhere, and I think I have another box of stuff to go with it, I can find something, a different DVD thing. Maybe we can go between the two rather than just playing the same games over and over and over. Not that they're not fun. They're fun. They are. It's just, you know, variety is not a bad thing. So, nothing today on the Commodore front. Just realized I forgot to turn on my light here, so I'm probably somewhat in the dark. Sorry about that. Anyway, oh, the only other thing I would say is, in terms of, like, if you're going to test out something, you don't know if it works, and I think some of these controllers are toast, because they did have some kind of crusty batteries in them, is don't go and spend $1 billion on batteries. There's a place in Canada, probably in the States too, called Dollarama, and you can get some cheap batteries that you can test something out on. Will they last as long? No, they won't. But better to spend $1 plus tax and find out you're screwed and have nothing that will work than, you know, spend a whole bunch more and say, oh, look, I'll put these batteries aside. And of course you forget where you put them, and then you get some others, and eventually it's just a waste. Anyway, some of these remotes I think are dead. I would like to think that maybe I can revive them, but I'd really like to get two for the other thing that work. I have, and and there were some of the what do they call them? The skins that you can put over the controllers, and most of them were pretty okay. Some of them were kind of gross. So I thought, what will I do? What could I possibly do? You know what I did? I threw them in the washing machine with a bunch of towels. And they came out beautiful. They're beautiful. I don't know if I need them. I don't know if some of them, of course, see the Wii remotes, you get this extra thing that goes on the bottom, and I think it makes them more sensitive. But of course that means the skins that are for the short version don't fit. So I think mostly I have them, although I have some of the bigger ones. Anyway, in the end, I would like to get the Wii working, which it is. I would like it to connect to the internet and you know, do the magical things that it does, but I don't think it will. Although it did update. And I suppose eventually I will have some extra bits and pieces that I deem worthy of maybe donating back to the Salvation Army. Or if there's somebody, you know, who is setting up a Wii and saying, gee, I don't have the sensor bar or something, you know, who knows. Anyway, spare parts are good. Anyway, we'll see. Because really, what we're hoping to do at some point is upgrade to, well, there's that PS5, but they're in short supply, and then, what's the other? There's the PS5 and then the Xbox. And the Xbox, I don't know, we're hunting. Andrew would like to play that new hockey game. I guess it's NHL 22, and it has to be one of the two of those things. But of course, there seems to be a semiconductor shortage in the world. Just ask the automakers. So we'll be waiting on that. For the moment, we will bowl. We will play tennis. And maybe we'll box, because I think I did find the little boxing things. I think. I've got to check in the secret box of parts. Anyway, so onward with the gaming, onward with the Wii, onward we go. And with things the way they are, with it still very good, very wise, and smart to limit contacts with other people because things in the world are going crazy. Not a bad thing at this moment to crank up your 64, your 128, your Amiga, your Wii, your game machine, your whatever, and just stay home as much as possible. At least that's what we're going to do for now. So, until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy. Maybe at some point I'll line up a camera and shoot some action on the Wii. It gets pretty intense. Anyway, thanks for coming. Stay safe. Until we meet here again. Bye for now.